guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about some fluffy books that I read recently that I really enjoyed. And yeah, I'm also decided that when it comes to fluffier books, I'm going to be rating them on two different scales. One is how 15-year-old Sherry would have rated them, and two is how 25-year-old Sherry would have rated them. 10-year difference. We'll see. I think I have the brain capacity to rate it what I would have rated it back then, because I still enjoyed the books, even if I thought that they were a bit too fluffy and unrealistic. So yeah, if you would like to see the rest of the video, keep on watching. So the first book I'm going to be talking about is By Your Side. No, I bought it at Half Price Books. So the first book I'm going to be talking about is By Your Side by Kasie West. And this book is a very fluffy book about a girl who gets stuck in a library with a boy. And yeah, they start to fall for each other. I started this book because it featured a library. I love libraries. I'm like, oh yeah, let's just put me right there. And it was really sweet and, again, really fluffy. It did have an unexpected plot twist that I enjoyed that made the book a little bit more than just a fluffy romance book. So I would encourage people to give this one a read. I don't know if it's adapted as my palate is today, as far as like what I like to read. 15-year-old Sherry, out of, let's say 10, she would have given this book probably a 7. And then 25-year-old Sherry would give it like a 5. And that's only because it's so fluffy and it's so somewhat expected that it does lack a little bit for originality, but it does have some very sweet characters, and it has a decent plot twist, and it does deal with the idea of anxiety, which I personally have had issues with for years, as well as like PTSD, but she has anxiety, and I did like the way that they portrayed that. I thought that it was very important that the author dealt with it, and so overall I did really enjoy this book. I would just rate it lower purely because I've read other things that have been a little bit more empowering and a little bit more thought-provoking. Okay, so the next book that I want to talk about is called One Small Thing by Erin Watt. And I got some thoughts about this book. I think 15-year-old Sherry would give this book, oh god, I'm ashamed to say, I think I would rate it like 8 or 9. I was so young. But today I'd give it about a 5, maybe a 4. The writing wasn't bad. It was the main character that I had the most issues with now that I've grown up a little bit. So I originally picked this book up because it follows the main protagonist, Beth, whose sister had recently passed away. And my sister passed away in April, so I just wanted a book that maybe had the same type of mindset that I feel I have been in for a while now. And so it follows the main character, Beth, who is extremely immature, but she meets this boy named Chase who has a lot more secrets to his past than what you understand, and you learn about those throughout the book. So it is a romance-ish, YA, contemporary-ish. It's a lot of different ishes. My main issue was with Beth as the main character. I think you were supposed to slightly dislike her. If so, job well done. She was needy, she was whiny, she had a lot of growing up to do, and I think she knew it. And so I didn't like hate her, but I did feel she was extremely problematic. I did like Chase's character, the main boy. He was very thoughtful, and he really showed, spoiler, he really showed that you can come back from committing a terrible thing, and that there is hope for people that make stupid mistakes when they're young, and even though it's not an excuse, that you still have the ability to learn from every single thing that you do. So I did really enjoy his character, and I thought that he was very mature, especially for what he had been through. I just didn't love that her character seemed so freaking immature sometimes. It didn't make sense to me. I think you hit a point where, especially after something like that happens, hopefully some type of maturity kind of conks you over the head so you can figure out some way to deal with it without, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, I still read it twice. I think I read it 2 times. Mostly because it was one of those books that kind of stuck with me. Like, even though I'm rating it low, I still thought it was a good kind of like trashy contemporary YA-ish book. So I did enjoy reading it, and I would encourage like people to read it because it was a fun read. But I wouldn't tell people to read it if they had gone through what I've gone through recently with a sibling passing away, or to read it for any kind of like emotional depth or information into grieving the loss of a loved one. I would read something different, I think, instead for that. But for what it was, if it was just like a romancy, trashy YA book, like contemporary-ish, I do think it kind of hit the nail on the head there, and I enjoyed it for those reasons. So those are the 2 books I had. I was going to include The Darkest Star, but I actually recently posted a review about The Darkest Star, so I'm not going to add that one into this. I'm just going to set for 2 books. My goal is for every type of like review, whether it's gushy, whether it's not gushy, is to have at least 3 books to use, because I think that gives the videos a little bit more meat to them and gives you a little bit more information, and you don't have to just, you know, watch singular videos to try to weed out that one book that you want to see. You just get a couple that have the same like type of idea in the books. So let me know if you guys think that's a good idea. Again, feel free to give this video a like, comment down below, and subscribe, hit the bell. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.